Good morning, radio listeners, and welcome once more to another informative program, FYI, for your information, coming to you from the St. Eustatius Tourism Development Foundation. I am your host, Tina Lopes, the Public Relations Officer at, of course, STDF. This morning, our program will focus and highlight the up-and-coming Statia Sustainability Conference. And of course, we are open from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. You can pass by our office to collect your registration and to find out more information about the up-and-coming Statia Sustainability Conference, which is themed Culture, Festivals, the Economy, a Sustainable Way Forward. We will be more than happy to assist you guys if you have any questions whatsoever regarding the speakers, regarding the conference itself. We are open, like I said, from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. during the week until Friday. We close at 4:30 p.m. And like I mentioned, our program is focusing on this event, which is the 8th annual event. And today we will call out to two of our foreign speakers, and you'll hear from them within short. But in the studio with me, I would let my guests introduce themselves. I would let them do the honors. I'll start with my right hand.
Good morning, radio listeners. Charles Lindo here. Thank you for having us, and looking forward to giving you information that is, of course, pertinent to all of us on the island, and hoping to have some registration coming in during the course of the week and, of course, the coming weeks.
Good morning. I am Axel Mitchell from Stenapa, Education and Outreach Officer. I am, of course, interested in anything that discusses sustainability, so I'm excited for what's coming.
Good morning, radio listeners. This is Maya Pant. And like my previous colleague said, we're looking forward to you guys coming in and signing up for this conference. We promise that it will be just as beneficial to you as all the others that we've had before. So we're looking forward to you guys tuning in, because we'll have two of our speakers from the region, and to give you more insight on what they're going to be talking about at the conference.
Mm-hmm. Just before we call out to our first speaker, who goes by the name of Maya
Gerianne Voortman.
Mm-hmm. And if you read the Daily Herald lately, we also published the speakers for that session. The name of it, Maya, the name of the session that Gerianne Voortman, Alan Cooper, and Anthony Reed will be presenting on is called
A Step Beyond Sustainability, and it's fashioning a regenerative festival model for the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. So
Yes.
we're hoping that you guys could sign up already, because we know that in Statia we like to wait until the very last minute to sign up. But we're hoping that you guys can hold in consideration that we are preparing for a conference, and there's a lot of things that you need to keep in mind, like the catering, etc., when we are planning such a grand event. So within short, we will call out to our speaker, Gerianne Voortman, and of course she will be highlighting what she will just give you a taste of what you can expect at the conference this year with regards to her particular session presentation. We are now trying to get her on the line, so please bear with us as we try to call out to Miss Voortman.
In the meantime, we can talk about the other section of the conference, and again, in the looking forward, like Axel said, anything that has to do with sustainability is definitely of high importance to all of us on the island. And one of the things that we always did was reach out to other organizations such as Stenapa to be part of this. So it's really a great thing to have you guys on board with us.
Great to be on board.
Yeah, yeah, really, and I'm glad
And
to
Ms.
see that, you
Tinapa
know.
is also part of the sustainable committee.
Yeah, correct. So good to see that, you know, and now it's either you or Bowman who's always
Right.
present. So again, this is good because this is what we all look forward to because one of the things that you look at, there's a few pillar in the tourism sector, and nature is definitely one of them, and
Definitely.
and you guys are the you know the I want to say the protector of what the nature is on the island, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you yourself, you talk about you part of the outreach.
Right. So
Uh,
nature doesn't have its own voice, so we are its spokesperson
there you
and
go.
to share information about how it works and why we need nature to be sustainable amongst everything else.
Yeah, yeah. And you also mentioned about the education part. When you said
Mhm.
education, you're talking about going into schools, I guess, and
Yes.
educate.
Youth clubs, primary or rather group 1 to 8 and high school.
Mm, okay,
Right.
okay. Well, that's again. So you know, there's so many different wings of sustainability on the island. I remember in past program we have had the gentleman from the waste management organization on the program. We have had the gentleman from Maiden Station on the program. So it goes to show the amount of different things that you talk about when you talk about sustainability. And I was at one of the session with the minister who was on the island a few days ago, and they was talking about the different things that is done via the CNSI and with the reefs and all these things,
Yes.
and every sentence ended with tourism.
Of course.
Every sentence that
That's what the tourists want to see, especially on
see.
Station.
So it
And
was
That
if
and
I
the trails.
It's like I mentioned previously that the conference this year will be focused mainly on events. And I think this was the theme for the Caribbean Tourism Organization this year, where they are focusing on events and festivals in the Caribbean. And when I look at Ms. Vortman's bio, I read that she is studying small scale communities, and I know that the reason for us having the conference for 8 years in a row is because we really want to focus on our island, you know, and a way forward. When we look around the world, we just had Hurricane Dorian, which really devastated the Bahamas. Well, two small islands in the Bahamas, and you know, we really want to focus on not what's in front of us, but what's to come, the future, and we have also the future generation that we want to teach. And for this conference, we also have the GVP School Colloquium.
That's
And I'm
what's
excited
exciting.
to see how our kids will do, you know, not that how they will do, but how they
The
will
things they're
perform.
gonna bring to the
yeah,
table,
how
yeah.
they're gonna, yeah,
All that
you know, the
creativity coming
ideas they're
forward.
gonna bring
Mhm.
forward.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the kids are gonna be working. I think it's 3 groups, and they're going to be working closely with mentors from within our community.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
could you imagine the pressure cooker?
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, so we are excited. I know that there's a lot of events taking place here on our small island, you know, from January straight through to December. So this is your opportunity to come to the conference and you know, get a hold of those persons who have the knowledge and the experience when it comes to having a sustainable event. And Mr. Lindo, you.
No, but you were mentioning about the young lady's bio because
Yeah,
maybe if we
she
can
has
get
a lot of great.
an idea who she is and what she's all about,
Yeah.
you know, so that people, the listening audience, can know the type of level of.
I'll just, you know,
speakers that is
mention a
gonna be
few
there.
things about her. Like we mentioned previously, her name is Gergiane Wortman, and it says that she specializes in research mainly in Central America, studying small-scale communities from a local and global perspective. And she also mentioned that during her presentation here on Stacia at the conference, she will focus practically on the do's and don'ts and explore with us, which is the station community, the possibilities of celebrating our events here on the island and festivals in a more sustainable way. What we can do to lessen the the negative impacts, and what are the ways. So she will be explaining the ways for our events to contribute to our island. So
Well, I think now that we have touched on that, because that's what I wanted you to go to, impacts.
Yes.
Because if and we said it a lot over the past few days about festivals. If you look at what I mean, we just saw a few days ago, yesterday, when I pull up on my phone, there is a festival taking place right now in the Bahamas to raise funds for the
those
individuals.
who were devastated
Yes.
by the hurricane.
And just imagine, it's a barbecue cooking festival. So
Yes. Ooh.
there are so many different type of festivals that are being created right now that it's incredible to keep up with them. And that's why I wanted that piece to come out to show that festivals, even though they generate a lot of money because it's a quick thing, It's quick turnaround. For the economy,
Yeah.
people see it as a real messy endeavor because of the type of equipment that is used. For example, the styrofoams and the plastic cups
Oh, the
and the plastic,
environmental thing.
environmental part of it. And that's what we want to show, that it can still be sustainable in both manner, sustainable for the economy and sustainable for the environment. But I want, Axel, you probably can get into that a bit because I know you are also involved in those kind of things. So maybe you can talk to us a little bit about, your take on the environmental part
Definitely.
of this.
So I'll start by saying that those who are spokespersons for nature are people first,
There you go.
right? So we also have to worry about economy once we're off the job, even on the job. So we are considering all of these things, but at the same time, I guess the balance is always important, because if once you understand nature, you understand how something off balance can affect several networks. So if you have the money being earned, it should be simple enough to consider the opposites and do both at the same time. Earn money, keep nature safe, keep your waste management habits on point. If you have the barbecue festival, enjoy your food, enjoy the events, enjoy what you're doing, the cause, raise money for Bahamas, take care of your brother and sister, and just put your waste in the garbage. If you can somehow get away from styrofoam, awesome. But take care on both sides.
How do you feel about AXA? How do you feel about the way that our events here on Statia is being handled when it comes to, like you mentioned, styrofoams and all these things? Because for me, it's not handled in the best way possible. Because when there's an event, you see all these things the second day, the day after, on the street, on the side where people sit in. How do you feel about these things?
Yes, I've definitely had some thoughts about that. Okay, so as Miss Wortman would probably say, because of her bio, that she travels a lot, so she will see what people do with their habits. In Jamaica, I saw basically lots of conferences.
Yeah.
Everybody had bottled water, and the small ones. So you take several bottles throughout the event. You go on a bus ride from one side to the other. Everybody gets a bottled water. Now, that's almost okay if you have to have it, but then have a collection protocol in place.
Yeah.
So here, there are several things that can happen, because we do have bins throughout the island, which is pretty cool, actually. Right? So if you can use the bin, I believe for the amount of usage we have, a lot of it is getting to the bin. But if you're not paying attention, some things blow away by accident, and you don't go and get it. Some things, the kids, you're not really watching the kids, they haven't had the habits, it blows away from them, you haven't told them to go and get it, things get away. It's just a little bit more effort. I think we get them to the bins.
But when I saw a post on Statia Waste Solutions page not too long ago where as I think, the reason why we have these type of events is to inform, educate, and to, Mr. Lindo, motivate others, and at least try, when you come to the conference, you try, take something from it and practice it, don't just come, practice what you were taught. Because like I said, I saw a post about plastic. And I think the education part is very important, because when you see that when you litter and it goes to the sea, remember we love seafood, and the fishes and the turtles and all these things are consuming the plastic products that I know we all like fish here on station. And I also saw a video where how much plastic, plastic travels, it travels so far away. And just think about it. When you litter, the litter doesn't stay in one spot. The wind blows it.
Exactly.
It goes down to the beach. It goes in the sea. Like when we walk on Ceylon there, and we see all these things like shoes and different materials that are not even from Statia. You see
And
all
that
these
garbage was not thrown on the beach. That was
It
thrown.
came from somewhere.
Exactly.
But it came from somewhere.
Yeah. It came from somewhere. You missed the bin. You threw it out to the car door.
Yeah, it came from somewhere and someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point that you're trying to make. If we tender that educational part, and that's why I asked the question, if you go into the school, because many times we as grown-ups we are stuck in our ways. But it takes it usually when you turn around.
I'll just cut Mr. Lindo off a bit. We have Alan on the line. Finally, we have Alan on the line, who is one of the presenters. Yeah.
Yes, hi, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Alan.
morning.
How are you?
I'm quite alright, and how are you?
Good, thank you. Good, thank you.
Fine, thanks. So, Alan, we now have you on the line. You're on air where the whole of Statia can hear you now tuning in. And we were just discussing the Statia Sustainability Conference, and we know that you are a presenter for this particular event. And so we just wanted you to share a little bit of what people can expect when they come to see you and hear from you, not to see you, but to hear from you at the conference this year.
Okay. Thank you very much, and hello to all of Statia. Well, my presentation will focus on some recent trends in the Caribbean, which speak to sustainability, particularly regarding festivals. Festivals are something that we Caribbean people do very well, and it's also a very good way to get a message across regarding sustainability. So what I speak about will be not only relevant to what's going on, but to the future of Statia and changing mentalities, changing mindsets. Festivals can be an important part in accessing the future mindset for generations to come. And I'll talk about different kinds of festivals as well, because the tourist of today tends to look for not just a festival where he or she has fun, but also a festival that has some sort of genuine meaning and that is responsible. So I'll speak about that, which I think is relevant to Statia and to all Caribbean countries, but particularly to us as island countries, So.
Okay, Alan, I was just browsing through your bio, and I'm a person, I love festivals, I love these type of events, and I know that Trinidad just recently, I think it's still ongoing, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, the Carry Festa.
Yes. So Carry Festa, the festival where all the Caribbean comes together and shares one stage. I was part of the initial planning committee for that festival. It was a 2-week festival featuring I believe it was 23 or 26 countries from the Caribbean, featuring their culture, inclusive of their food, their dance, and a significant part of it dealt with issues of sustainability, climate change, global warming, that kind of thing. We didn't have any normal solutions to push the climate change and the environmental sustainability part of it. We did have some speakers from Cuba. We had some from Trinidad and Tobago, of course.
Yeah. I saw from St. Kitts also.
from where?
St. Kitts, our neighboring island.
Yes, yeah, I think it was also there. You know, it was a wonderful festival in terms of its scope, its presentation. But what I really enjoyed about it as well was the emphasis on sustainability, which showed it was not just about us Caribbean people having fun, but also about stewarding our future, taking care of our future. A lot of it had to do with companies and households recognizing for themselves what they could do at an individual level to create a sustainable future, to take care of the environment, to do what we do well in a sustainable way, to show that we can do it well into the future, you know. So that was a very important part of it. It was a wonderful festival in itself. You know, I went to did 5 days myself, and it was really excellent.
Okay, I also saw in your bio that you're a member of the Caribbean Action Learning Group for Green Economy, and a member of board for the Future Fishers.
Yes, those are two groups I'm a part of. So I guess I can speak to those. With regard to the Caribbean Action Learning Group, that's a group that was founded with Dept funding, that's UK development funding, through an NGO called the Caribbean Natural Resources Institute, with which I'm closely affiliated. And what we try to do is share experiences of other countries with sustainability, whether it be, particularly with the green economy, which basically means companies being responsible with the future, not just with social responsibility, but also with environmental responsibility, how they treat with their water, soil, air quality, the response to biodiversity, feedback from the public. So it's about 10 areas, but I broken into 5 that where Caribbean countries share experiences in the blue economy, which is the economy that's based on the ocean, sustainable use of ocean resources and coastal resources, and the green economy, which is broader and looks at how enterprises that may not be coastally based respond to environmental challenges. And we got the Future Fishers. That one is an NGO which focuses specifically on coastal and marine resources, ensuring that the fishing communities, here in Trinidad we have a very unique situation where, because of the presence of oil and gas, foreign companies, when they want to explore the ocean resources in search of petroleum or natural gas, they give large sums of money to fishing communities. So basically to compensate them for what they're going to lose when there's exploration. But what has happened is that the money comes into these communities and nothing happens with it. Or the money is used, but in a not necessarily very sustainable way. So we recognize that there's an opportunity there to make a difference, to help the fishing communities utilize their funds more effectively, whether it's with education for the next generation, whether it was in terms of managing their own ice facilities and storage, whether it was improving information networks. So we work there. We just got a grant from BHP.
Go ahead.
You lost me.
Yes.
Yeah, you're back on the air.
Are you there? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
You ended up with you just got a grant from AHP.
HP.
Yes, we were awarded a grant from BHP to do a baseline study of some fishing communities, get a sense of their livelihoods, and also what indicators of success they would look for future subventions from the energy companies when they explore. So it's that's actually an ongoing exercise. We started it about a month ago, and it should be concluded in October.
Okay.
So there's a lot of good stuff happening here, in Trinidad. And what I'd like to do is be able to share some of that with you all in Statia, because when I think of Statia, I've been there 2 times already.
Oh.
And in many ways it's virgin territory. You have the opportunity to look at what other countries are doing right and wrong, and to chart a different path forward. So it's a really exciting place from that perspective.
Yeah, I think so.
Very true.
How long ago was your last visit?
My last visit, I think that was last year.
Oh.
When was that? Last year? About the middle of last year, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. And there was one also the year before.
Okay.
Stisha. Very, very nice place to relax and get away, you know?
Mr. Lindo, you had a question?
Yes. Hi, Alan. How you doing? This is Charles.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I want to get back to real quick to festivals because I think that's where most of your concentration is going to be during the case of the presentations. Um, it, we were just talking about how the Caribbean on a whole is really focusing on different type of festivals, and I believe it's one of those things that where we talk about tourism is like a chameleon. It adapts to changes when there is a situation, and it looks for ways and means of capitalizing on those changes. For example, festivals is one of them right now. In the past, couple of years ago, it was cruise ships and cruise ports and those kind of things. Um, if you look at what the Caribbean is doing lately, there's a festival and pretty much everything. But one of my colleagues mentioned just now about money coming in could become top priority. And just like everything else in the past, we are looking at the, and you said it right. Statia is virgin territory, and we can be actually the model student, if you want to call it that, of the Caribbean because of our size and because of the mere fact that we have seen what others are doing, and we can just do just opposite so people can see that this is the actual way it's supposed to go. And I'm referring now to the fact that festivals could be sustainable in the sense of an environmental friendly way of doing it. But
Very, very true.
but if you look at what's happening, and one of my colleagues, Axa, actually, she mentioned that she has seen conferences and festivals in her native land, Jamaica, where a simple thing like bottled water is passed around, and many conferences you attend, you get that bottles water passed around, and the small ones, and by the time the whole conference is done, you have like a whole factory of empty bottles just lying all over the place. But if there's a particular collection in place, now I think, is this something that you think could be mitigated in a form or way? Because the money should not be the priority, I don't think. I believe somehow, as she said, there should be a balance.
Yes, I very much appreciate. Are you there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, great. Yes, yes, I very much appreciate what you said there. With the attempts to introduce a green element to CariFesta, for instance, we had to look at those very same issues. There's one thing: the public who comes to these festivals is used to one thing, and then we have the need of future generations, the need for waste reduction, for waste recycling,
Yes.
and it does take the public in a different direction that they're not used to. And more so, it takes also the planning committee in a different direction. You have to think differently about festivals. Yes, money coming in. Very often, for large-scale festivals, the government tends to give a subvention or give some sort of support. In most Caribbean countries, that's how it is,
A quick turnaround.
But even when we address issues of energy use at festivals or energy at companies, there's a rule of thumb that an energy audit in itself can reduce the cost of a festival or the cost of a business activity by 10%.
Okay.
And that's pretty standard figure. So even from a money perspective, which really, as I agree with you, should not be the focus of festivals to begin with, simply because our countries have a colonial past, and so when we think about festivals and tourism, as good as the money is, it sort of keeps us in a place where we look outward to what a foreign power, a foreign entity can give to us, what foreigners, tourists can bring to us. As much as we want tourism, we want it to be ours. We want it to be truly indigenous, and that implies from the very small things to very, very large, how we do things differently.
We
For
decide.
instance, the food that we have at a festival to what extent do we rely upon imported food, where there's a very long, faraway loop with some country, and some countries it relies upon foreign exchange. Or do we look at our local farmers and producers, whose quality may not be the best to start off, but given opportunities to be part of the festival, or even work alongside the sale of foreign food, they gradually get to a place where they are on par, you know.
Indeed.
So it's about not only respecting the environment, but also having these shorter feedback loops where we interact with our local communities, our local farmers. You mentioned the water in particular. That is, as you know, you all know, plastic waste is a very topical issue. It's plastic pollution, microplastics getting into microorganisms in the ocean. These are very topical and important issues. In the case of Carifesta, we couldn't eliminate all the plastic bottles. What we tried to do was have a water station, you know, where people would actually come with their containers, even if it was a plastic cup, and get a refill, you know.
Yeah.
And that made a difference. It also made a statement because it was attached to iCare, which is an NGO here which is known for its work in sustainability. So I think it's very important as well in speaking of sustainability and festivals, to not think about shooting for the stars right away, but going stepwise, very gradually, because it requires such a profound change of mentality, not only when it comes to the public who's coming, but more so from the planning committee and the people who are going to be part of the support for the festival in terms of the outsourced food and transport, you know, the people who are going to be providing lodging. Imagine we have a very large festival. We can go the route of a massive resort, which is very resource intensive, or we can go to the model that requires more homesteads, where the everyday public who takes people into their homes receives some income. So it's a more democratic side of the type of system. The visitor gets a more authentic experience interacting with locals, and it also, but that also requires that the person who's providing the lodging receives some sort of training and knows how to treat a foreigner with respect and, you know, that sort of balancing act. This really requires a real mentality change, talking with festivals, you know, and it's exciting because to some extent it's new, but what we see as well is that it does make an impact on people's minds and how they operate thereafter. So issues of waste are crucial. Festivals generate a lot of waste, you know. You can think as well, by the time we have festivals, a daytime festival tends to require fewer resources than a nighttime festival, which requires more transport at odd hours, you know. So there's so many little things to think about. But the key is to think stepwise and incrementally, and to plan well, you know, and allow yourself as part of the planning committee, the government, the public, the people involved, to learn along the way. You know, we want to get there, but it's not a sprint either. You know.
Alan, I don't know if you read up on what the conference that we have on the island undertakes or what our motto is, but you just been hitting the nail on the head all this time. You spoke about motivation without even saying motivation. You spoke about information without saying it, and you spoke about education. That's the last thing you just said, and that's exactly what our conference is focusing on, is to motivate people into getting involved into these things, which is the local community, as you mentioned, to inform them why it's important to do so, and to educate them on how to get to that next level. Now, a lot of time people think of education as in a classroom, but I keep telling people you can be educated under a tree. You can be educated anywhere on the street, as long as that information that you are receiving is something that can be used for future or in the future, or even not even for yourself, but for someone else. So I'm glad to hear that you're actually on the same page as we are when it comes to the information and the conference itself. But you also spoke about another thing that the conference is focusing on, and you spoke about the indigenous people. You talk about culture, and I believe that is very important, because culture growth development ends up about the community. Culture, growth, development is the community, and I think those are the points that you also hit on. You said it has to be like a more of a change when it comes to the mindset of individuals. But how do you get to that change? And you said in a way to get into that change would be about educating the people and more education and more information and more motivate them into getting
He
involved.
also said don't reach for the stars,
Yeah.
right away. Take baby steps.
And one thing I kind of
It's important to take people step by step
Mm-hmm.
because it is taking them into the unknown.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started my own path into sustainability. It did require a bit of a change. Me personally, I've changed how I eat. I've changed how I travel. Like I try to travel using public transport than I would using my private car. In Trinidad we have a pretty effective sort of public transport network. But there's a very American tendency to use private cars. So in looking at how we approach sustainability, we've begun to enter the issues even of decolonization, mental decolonization. It's almost like an inevitable step that we go towards, looking at local food versus foreign food, local diets versus foreign diets, traditional ways of living. It really is it can be overwhelming if we don't take it in the right way. It's important as well to show people what's in it for them.
Yes,
And
yes.
each stakeholder has something to
That's the
gain
motivation
from
part.
it. For some people, for some businesses, it's a matter of goodwill and customer loyalty. For others, it's actually going to be a reduced cost. For some people, it will be health. For other people, it will be just a general sense of well-being. But really is a very broad sort of activity, broad sort of way of thinking. That's the sustainability way. And festivals are an excellent place to start with that, because festivals are projects as well. They have a beginning, middle, and an end. So there's a way to start, you focus on the activity, and then it comes to an end. And you can look back at lessons learned. You can look back at what to do next time.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes a way festival becomes a sort of a route to filter various activities, various ways of thinking into other parts of society. But festivals by in and of themselves are a nice stepwise approach because they are projects which have a beginning,
Indeed.
middle, and an end. So people don't feel thrown into the deep end right away, So that's part of the beauty of it,
I wanted to highlight something you said again, as it lines up with education and also includes the stepwise approach, where if you want to educate the public, it's not usually in a classroom, it's an announcement,
Yeah.
Facebook posts, the government puts out a few
A little
campaigns.
soft. I'm not saying 100%. Can you speak a little?
So, is this better?
Yes, a little bit better, yes.
Okay. So, when you have public education, how is this?
Much better.
Okay. When you have public education, you are putting out campaigns, you're putting out posts and information bites to get everybody on board on the same page, hopefully to get them to work together. And you said at the very beginning that festivals are sort of their own attraction to the public. So when a few people who really care about it put in the energy to get the festival going in the right direction, the correct trend regarding sustainability, those that attend see what you've done, learn from it, and then from the next project, the next festival, we go a step further and they learn from that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So people who come to the conference can learn how to do that for the public. Come and learn how to run your festivals in a stepwise approach, going in the right direction, and we go together as a country, as an island.
Very much like that. Very much. That is how it is. I can cite a personal experience. I know some years ago I went to the festival I will speak about at the conference, the Trinidad and Tobago, the Vegan Food Festival.
Mm.
And they had banned all plastic utensils.
Okay.
So you had to walk with your own utensil, either your own plastic from home, or you could walk with a metal utensil, use no utensil at all. But I was one of the unlucky ones to walk without a utensil, you know, so I watched to eat. And nowhere in the entire place would they sell any utensils. I eventually got someone who did give, it was these wooden skewers, you know, that you could use to poke your fruits and to, that kind of thing.
Like chopsticks.
But I can tell you, something like a chopstick, you know. I can tell you, from that experience, I have learned. You know, every time I'm going to a similar event, I either walk with my utensil, or I may seem it's like a small thing, but if everyone does it, it adds up, you know.
Yes, exactly.
It adds up, you know. So it was an uncomfortable lesson for me, you know, but it was a very good one. When I wouldn't trade really. Small as it was, I really appreciated it.
That's incredible. I'm laughing to myself because I just had you hear me? Yeah, I just had a cousin of mine by my place there, and I picked a papaya off the tree, cut it in half, gave him half, and I said, okay, hold on, let me go and get a spoon. And he put his hand in his pocket and pulled out his spoon. And I'm like, what? You walk with a spoon? The guy pulled out a little teaspoon and he said, everywhere I go, I walk with this. And I'm so I you know, maybe he probably heard of that particular festival and he decided.
You heard what happened to you.
It's incredible. I'm amazed to hear that there's someone else out there who does the same thing. So I found it very rare and very strange, but now I guess it's a norm.
And we want sustainability to become the norm.
Indeed. It is. I think I'm going to start walking with mine too.
It's a good choice.
Yes, I notice. Indeed. Anything else? Any other question?
No, I think it was quite clear.
I saw a video, Alan, from Trinidad, where this gentleman, he makes seafood. You know, he have the fish and everything, and he season it with local herbs, and he what to
Grills
say?
it.
Not grill.
Yeah.
I think you saw. I shared it on Facebook. Where he steams the fish on a banana.
It's grill. That's
Grill?
what it's called. Yes,
Grill on banana
Grill
leaf
it.
and serves it on the banana leaf.
Yeah.
Traditional cooking.
Yeah.
Traditional cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I was there some time ago in Statia, one of the discussions we had was about
Yeah, it's good.
decolonization. Now, you know, we have to be careful with some sorts of terms and so, and labeling everything. But there is truth in that sometimes our traditional ways carry a lot of value, a lot of health benefits as well, you know. And I would say as well, they're also fun, you know. They're also fun. And that's important. It's important to have fun. Traditional cooking here in Trinidad, we use a lot of course, we all used to use our local herbs and seasonings and so. And cooking in a banana leaf was, it's still something we do around Christmas time in particular for our, it's something we call a pastel. It's very similar to the Latin American ayaca or tamal, you know. And it can be used, yes, as well. So a lot of tradition. So part of the interesting thing is, in going forward as a sustainable future, very often we find ourselves having to take a glance back, you know, how things were done before.
Yeah.
And the sort of modernizing and repackaging and reinventing ourselves, but very often by taking a glance back, you know.
Well, Alan, we've heard a mouthful from you today, and I hope that our radio listeners that are tuning in have taken notes, because you've really I must not share, but you really educated us this morning.
Indeed.
And I myself took some notes, so we're looking forward to having you here on Statia back again. I thought it was your first time, but I guess I was wrong. So we're looking forward to having you here back at the Statia Sustainability Conference, where you will go more in depth about sustainable events. So we want to thank you for your time here with us on the studio this morning, for sharing a little brief information about what folks can expect during the conference. So we want to thank you once again, and we look forward to welcoming you here on Statia on very close to the date, I think the 27th of September. Maya, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the 27th. He's arriving on the 25th.
Okay.
February 25th. Yes.
And Alan, I'm gonna try and have my spoon in my pocket. So
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and to all the listeners in Bay and Stacia. And I look forward to being part of your conference. I actually wanted to come last year, and I wasn't able to come because of work commitments. So it's really exciting to be back.
Thank
Great,
you.
Thank you.
You take care very much.
all right,
Good day, everyone.
great.
Bye-bye.
All right.
There you've had it, radio listeners. We recently had one of our presenters on live on air. As you know by now, the FYI program is a call-out program where we call out to various individuals, whether here on Stacia or overseas. And we've recently called out to one of our presenters, and his name is Alan Cooper. And he will be here on the island for the up-and-coming Stacia Sustainability Conference to share more information about sustainable events. And like I mentioned previously, Mr. Alan Cooper is part of the thinking group responsible for greening aspects of Carifesta. And if you're a great Facebook browser, you'll notice that Carifesta, if it's not ongoing right now, it's just ended. I was up to date with that, and I saw a lot of great stuff, you know, from Trinidad, and some great costumes and elaborate dancers, and you know, it was really nice to see these type of events. I'm really into festivals, so that was something great for me. It was a great experience to see it. And here we have Alan, who will be here on Stacia firsthand, where you can come and get the information that you need. And I like what he said, you know, most of us, it's not only here on our small islands, anywhere in the world, we like to take big steps, you know. We like to start big, and then we end up seeing that, hey, I should have taken some little small baby steps before I get to this path. So,
Let it grow.
yeah, you know, he mentioned that, you know, you don't need to reach for the stars right away. You know, you take gradually. And we had a discussion, Maya and Lindo, in the office where, you know, we are practicing sustainability and we want to practice what we preach. Mm-hmm. And I know recently in one of our meetings we discussed about the bottles, where we are not going to have any plastics. We're going to have cups for people, for the guests to have, and, you know, you can refill. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we really got to practice what we preach, you know, in everything that we do. What's your name again? Aksa. You want to say something?
Yes, sure. The part where you said where you refill the bottle,
Yeah.
that reminds me of what you said about going back.
Uh-huh.
The ease of just having a bottle and not having to worry about it. You just throw that away.
Yeah.
You just go back to the day when you just
Yeah.
had your one cup, your one bottle.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
one cup, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you notice too throughout airports now, because once upon a time there were water fountains on airports. It's no longer water fountain. It's now like a whole new modern technology where you can fill your bottle. So now there's the thing, you stick your bottle in it and it automatically fills it. So you see on airports they're promoting that. They're taking away the water bottles, and you can buy actually these reusable bottles everywhere on these airports now. And right by the station where you can refill it, you know, they have a stand with people selling them. So I think that's a good thing too, because if you can see what the plastic bottles are doing to this world and our ocean and our seas, rivers.
Even to yourself, you know, while we are talking, I'm thinking, boy, I have, you know, most of us have parties for our kids, and when the day is over and you have to clean up the mess, you know, I'm thinking, boy, for my daughter or my son's next party, they're gonna have, I'm gonna get cups.
And label it.
Yeah. Because when you have to pick up all those plastic cups and all those water bottles, you know, it's a lot of work. You know. So we're boiling down to the end of our program. So I will just pass the floor. I will let Maya start.
Well, radio listeners, we hope you enjoyed Alan Cooper. You know, he's on from the first session of the day for the conference. we are encouraging you all to come out and, join us at this conference. You can sign up. We have a committee in place. Any one of them, can get you a registration form, or you just come into the tourism office and get one. It's Friday, September 27th from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It's a Friday, so hence, we try to get out earlier that day at 4:30. We also have the day before. Next week, Tina will go more in depth, but the night before we have Taste of the Cultures, and that evening we will have like a meet and greet for the speakers and everybody there. So we have a really special Taste of the Cultures in planning. So next week Tina and the group will talk about that specific area. But we truly want to encourage everyone, please come out, sign up, register. Well, you have to register in order to get in. So make sure you register. Don't wait last minute, because, we have to, like Tina said, it's a lot of planning that takes place. And, last minute, it makes our work more difficult. So we hope you will, even if you want a schedule, we have the program available. So if you would like to see one, let us know. We'll send it out to you. So come on out and enjoy.
Yeah.
So hello again, this is Axel. I'll talk more about why I think everyone should be coming out, especially event planners, teachers, parents, like I said, those who want to throw their parties. Bring everyone together. We can discuss what hang-ups we have, what will be too much for us at this point in time, as well as being able to discuss what's happening in the region, globally. Why are we even bothering about this topic? Why is it important? How can we grow together as Station and as the world?
Yeah. Thank you. I love that. I want to say something feeding off of what Axa just mentioned, because, repetition is good. And every time we come to the studio, we say, people always asking us, what do we as a tourist office get out of these conferences, these events? And our answer is always, it's what you take out of it, and like Mr. Allen said, you gotta practice what you preach, and you gotta take gradual steps. AXA mentioned about event planners, and we have been going to the extreme to make sure that we have these type of persons attend the conference. So if you know that you are an event planner, or you would like to plan an event, this is your you can build your foundation by just attending the conference this year, which is focusing mainly on culture, festivals, and the economy. So I think these are the three tools that you need, when you want to plan an event. You have to think about the cultural part of it. You need to think about the economic part of your event, so
and the environmental
environmental part. So I would like to encourage the event planners here on our island. Like I mentioned earlier on the program, we have a wide array of events here on Statia from January straight through to December. I think our next up and coming event right after the Statia Sustainability Conference is going to be Statia Day activities. So I hope that you guys are considering attending or registering for the Statia Sustainability Conference, because we really have you guys in mind, and any potential persons, you can call 318-2433, and like I mentioned earlier on, you can pass by our office. Our door is always open for you guys from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. We close on 4:30 on Fridays, so you can feel free to pass by the office. Mr. Lindo?
I just, actually, you said something there that I was trying to write it down quick before you come to me. You spoke about festival having three pillars, and you said economic, culture, and environment. But that's sustainability.
Yeah.
Sustainability, in layman's terms, talks about profit, which is the economy, people, which is the culture, and planet, which is the environment. So you see how all these things intertwine and goes into each other? I mean, again, most of it has been said, yes, but I just want to go to thanking some folks, though. because this is what we
Indeed.
have to do at all times. Our sponsors thus far is we have New Star, thank you, and Windward Island Bank, Abna Bank, UTLMV, the ministry, the Dutch ministry, the local government, PJD2, and of course our own DJP, who's right here with us 24/7, always there, 92.3 FM. Rivers Enterprises, and of course Brown Car Rental. These are the ones that we have on board thus far. Of course, we are always open and looking for more, not to mention the different committee members that has their own little organizations that is joining us to make sure that this happens. So again, we need to thank the sponsors. Oh, and how could I forget Winnie? And Winnie, of course. Yes, so those are the ones that I wanted to thank for now.
Okay, thank you guys for tuning in to FYI for your information this morning, where we focus mainly on the sustainability conference. It's the 8th annual event, so it's 8-1, and it's focusing mainly on culture, festivals, and the economy, a sustainable way forward. And we are looking forward to sharing even more information regarding this particular event. And you've heard a lot from Mr. Alan Cooper, who will be traveling here to Statia to be one of the presenters for this particular event. And also, we were trying to call out to Jurgani Wortman, but unfortunately, we did not get the opportunity to have her live on air. But hopefully, in one of our future programs, you can hear from Ms. Wortman and what you can expect from her for the up-and-coming event. But I want to read one more piece of her bio where it says, both her scientific work and her ample personal travel experience led her to the interest in possibilities for tourism to grow more sustainable or to even contribute to a destination. So I'm looking forward to hearing from each and every one of our speakers that are lined up here on our itinerary. And as of next week, Thursday, as you know, from 9:15, you can hear more about the Taste of the Cultures, which is a special edition and is also merging with the Statia Sustainability Conference. So with all that being said, we want to thank you for tuning in to our program this morning. Until next Thursday, 9:15 to 10:15, where we will share even more about what you can expect at the Statia Sustainability Conference and Taste of the Cultures. So thank you once again for tuning in.